Good Sunday morning, Arizona. You're watching 12 News Today in AZ. It's hard to believe, but we are just one day away from a tragic milestone. Tomorrow marks 6 months since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her home in the Catalina foothills near Tucson.
Yeah, the newest update came just yesterday. That's when authorities revealed that the hair found in Nancy Guthrie's home did not point to a suspect. It was not a match for any of the law enforcement databases that has people like convicted of crimes. Any of that DNA is in those databases.
So our David Chazanoff, he joins us live from the FBI Phoenix office this morning. You know, David, I just feel like I keep hearing from people, how are we this far out in a case the entire world knows about and we have zero answers?
Yeah, Emma and Sean, good morning. That's exactly right. It really is frustrating to not have any answers for the Guthrie family up to this point. But here in Phoenix, we know the FBI is working tirelessly to bring them some answers. And over in Tucson, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos says labs across the U.S. are still analyzing DNA evidence that was recovered from Nancy Guthrie's home.
There's so much being put into this case. I just have all the confidence in the world that we'll get there. I do believe we'll solve this case, yes.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos making that statement this week, a couple of days after Nancy's daughter, Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie, shared an emotional video on Instagram.
Our family is in agony. We are in a nightmare that will not end. Nothing about our situation has changed.
The months-long nightmare began on February 1st, when Nancy was reported missing from her Catalina foothills home. 1 week later, doorbell camera footage that was recovered by authorities showed someone wearing a mask at her front door on the night she disappeared. Since then, investigators have been in and out of the Tucson area. Just 11 days into their search, detectives tracked a potential suspect to Rio Rico, an hour drive south of Tucson. It's where a man was detained and later released. That man and his family are now threatening to sue the Pima County Sheriff's Department for more than $3 million. A second man in the Tucson area was also detained and questioned, then later released by authorities. The investigation has also revealed terrifying ransom notes. The first two came in early February, one demanding millions in Bitcoin and another claiming Nancy was, quote, buried in nature. The FBI says some of these notes were unserious extortion attempts, while others are still being actively investigated. The case has led to a fight between the Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI over DNA evidence. FBI Director Kash Patel criticized Nanos for sending DNA samples to a private lab instead of the FBI's top facility. Sheriff Nanos defended that decision, saying it was based on operational needs and that the labs are now collaborating. As for what's next, we know the Guthrie family is still offering a $1 million reward. And as for the Pima County Sheriff's Department, they are still asking homeowners in the Catalina foothills area to submit any questionable surveillance footage they may have from 3 dates. Those being January 11th, January 31st, and February 1st. So if you know anything at all, you are encouraged to call 1-800-CALL-FBI. We're in Phoenix. David Chazanoff, 12 News Today in AZ.
Good morning. Thanks, David. We're going to roll right into the weather impact alert because we have extremely warm temperatures, hot temperatures, even for this time of the year. If you spent any time outdoors in recent days, you know that this is not just typical desert summertime heat. This is way above and beyond. Noontime, 107. On Saturday, we hit 110 by 11 o'clock in the morning. 109 at 1 p.m. and with plenty of sun, that'll push us up to 115 later on this afternoon. No cooling relief at all from any showers around. The monsoon meter for the valley is a big 0 tomorrow. Western Arizona, a 0 as well. Just an outside chance of a little pop-up for northern Arizona and 2s for the Rune Country, the White Mountains, and southeastern Arizona, as really the big heat is going to be the big story of the day. Tucson, 109, 94 in Show Low, 115 in Phoenix, near 120 in Lake Havasu City, and 90 degrees in Flagstaff. I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast, which includes some changes in our weather pattern. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
So a Valley mom is being recognized on a national stage for her work helping families of kids with disabilities.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's earned her a major honor and tens of thousands of dollars to help take her mission statewide.
So we've got our Nohalani Graf with the story in this morning's Education Impact.
Carla Phillips-Krivickas calls the kids she fights for the invisible ones. She says the special education system is built to help families one at a time, so she set out to fix it systemically, and we are watching it happen in real time.
Helps you know what services and supports to be fighting for.
For many families, special education can feel like learning an entirely different language. Medical diagnoses, educational evaluations, federal law, state law, individualized education programs. It's a system Carla Phillips-Krivickas learned firsthand, not just as a longtime education policy expert, but as her own reality.
I have 2 kids with disabilities and really saw how the system just doesn't meet their needs.
Instead of helping just her own family, she set her sights on fixing the system itself. A year ago, she launched Champions for Kids, a coalition now nearly 400 strong of retired special ed directors, teachers, parents, and advocates, all with one thing in common: lived experience, and all focused on finding solutions that improve special education for families across Arizona.
When do we step back and say, let's find some common issues that we can find systemic solutions for?
One of their first big projects, an autism evaluation checklist that helps families better understand how medical diagnoses connect with what schools are legally required to evaluate. It's designed to help parents walk into IEP meetings informed, not intimidated.
And I heard my first real anecdotal story. She took it to the IEP meeting with her and it changed everything, and they came out of it with everything they needed. So I'm kind of glowing right now because that's exactly what we imagined, is something to empower parents.
Rachel Anderson is Chief Clinical Officer at SARC, which partnered on the tool. She says it translates confusing medical and educational language into something parents can actually use at the table.
If, for instance, you have a social delay, how might that impact your educational performance, and tying those 2 things together, but not needing an expert or an advocate to have to do that.
That kind of impact catching national attention. The Educating All Learners Alliance naming Phillips-Krivickas its 2026 new champion out of a record number of applicants, handing her a $35,000 unrestricted grant and a year of mentorship. She's using it to create similar tools for the 12 other federally recognized disability categories and translating them into Spanish so even more families can use them.
It's the ADDs, it's the dyslexia, the speech language impairments. Those kids are all in general classes with general teachers all day.
Rachel says the honor is no surprise.
You look at a room full of students and you just don't know how many of those students are impacted and have and would benefit from additional supports, and Carla is there in their corner fighting for them and making sure they get everything they need.
For Carla, the recognition isn't about personal achievement, it's validation that solutions created by families with families can reshape an education system and help the invisible come into focus. Champions for Kids isn't just building tools, they're also pushing legislation. A bill they backed closes gaps in special ed access for kids in group homes and on military bases so that vulnerable students don't fall through the cracks when they change schools. And this summer, it passed the Arizona legislature unanimously and was signed into law. I'm Nohalani Graf. That's your Education Impact 12 News.
An Arizona Little League team is just a few wins away from the biggest stage in youth baseball, the Chandler Nationals. They are headed to the West Region Tournament to represent Arizona after an undefeated run. A trip to the Little League World Series, that is what is on the line. So it is a very big deal. Our Tori King is live out in Chandler for us this morning, out on the field. And you were talking with the players as well. So I got to imagine they are super excited about this.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's pumped. The atmosphere here is great. They've been practicing all morning long. It's hot out here, so they are definitely giving it their all this morning. We've got a couple of the players here. We've got 4 with us this morning. The rest are still on the other field practicing right now. They'll go back after this. Thank you guys for joining us. Tell me a little bit about what it's been like being on this team, getting to know the guys and practicing.
I mean, it's been fun, super fun. These are all great kids and all great coaches, and they coach very well, and yeah, I've been a lot better.
Nice. And, what's it been like working out here in the hot summer heat, balancing maybe school and other things along with practice? What's that like for you?
It's hard, but it's also fun because I get to play with all these kids, and like they're all my friends, so it's like makes it fun. Besides school, it's harder with school because you have to go like right after school, or it's going to be later, because some of the kids like me and him made the school team, so we have to go like wake up like 6 in the morning, so It's super hard.
See, so a lot of these guys are balancing things outside of this team as well, yet the team is so successful as it is. We've heard you're the class clown, okay? We've heard you're the team clown. You keep everybody laughing. You keep the spirits high. Everybody loves hanging out with you. What's it like for you keeping morale up? You guys have a lot of good synergy. Seems like a good group of boys.
It's easy because we all are a good group, and nobody's mean or nobody's keeps each other out. We all stay together, and we're all happy, and we all laugh with each other, and we know what jokes can get laughed at, and we have a good community around here.
Right, but then you got to lock in for the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, so we know when to lock in. We all play some other sports, so we all know when it's time to get into the game, and that's pretty much it. That's what we need.
Well, there you go. I love it. And you're going to California next month, right? How are we feeling? What are you looking forward to out in San Bernardino when you face Hawaii?
I mean, I think the whole team's stoked. We want to come out there playing just playing really well, and we want to beat them. Obviously, we want to make it to Williamsport, but that's going to take a lot longer than you think, and we're going to have to miss school, so sacrifices will have to be made.
Ooh, I like it, but good sacrifices, right? Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. You can see we've got a great group of dudes here, hardworking, funny, a lot of good energy on this team. And yeah, we have all the information, and we will have all the information on how you can watch them and stuff on our website. We'll put that up later today. But make sure you're tuning in and supporting these guys. We'll tell you how you can actually help them out with the fundraiser. That's coming up next hour. I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
Oh, Tori, we were just saying, what did he say? Sacrifices need to be made? Is that what he said? Man.
Sacrifices need to be made. That's exactly what he said. It's the truth, though. I mean, these guys have way more than just baseball going on. They've got things going on, school, other sports. It's a lot.
Media training, because we were talking here in the studio. I normally, when I interview kids, they're like, yes, no, excited, wonderful. Good game. That's it.
No, these guys are media trained. Clearly, they're ready. They're ready for the big leagues.
All right, we'll check back in with you, Tori. Thanks for that. So with extreme heat gripping us and other parts of the country, some people are turning to Google, trying to get some answers. From heat dome searches to finding the nearest place to cool off, new search trends show really what's top of mind this summer. So joining us live this morning is Google search expert Nick Burns, walking us through some of the things that people are looking for. So what are you seeing? What's the biggest trend, the biggest search right now?
Yeah, well, this summer people are definitely turning to Google search to find ways to beat the heat. And some of the top search trends we're seeing are, obviously heat wave. Searches for heat wave are up 250% over the last 3 months. And that's actually 110% above this time last year. And we're also seeing a huge surge in what to do during a heat wave. And searches for that are up 5,000% over the last 3 months alone, which also is 200% increase year over year.
I was going to say those are some impressive numbers right there. But what do you think? What are people trying to? They're plugging this into AI. What are they trying to understand? What are they getting from this?
Yeah, I think especially folks in Arizona know a lot about heat. And I think people are looking for things they can do when it is really hot, when you're getting those triple-digit temperatures. So AI can really, Gemini or, AI mode in search is really a helpful way to get tips, whether you're looking to save energy on your cooling costs or looking for, fun activities to do inside, or even turning to Google Maps to find a restaurant that has really great AC, to stay cool.
So I was going to ask, like, for Gemini, which is that AI tool, it's very easy to do. It's like that little thing. It's like you just turn it on, your AI mode over there in Google. How is that really helping people? And what's a good tip for some people? Because this whole AI thing, this is new for a lot of folks. And you kind of, at least from my experience, you can kind of talk to Gemini like a friend and be like, hey, what's up? Where do I go to cool off?
That's right. Gemini is our personal AI assistant, and you can go to gemini.google.com and you can just chat with it, either your voice, or you can just type in questions and say, hey, it's really going to be hot this week, but I really want to get outside and get some runs in. What are some tips for, maybe creating a plan for how I can make that mileage in there if I'm like training for a marathon or something like that. And it might come back, it'll kind of search the web and come up with some great information, link to important articles to say, hey, like maybe here are some times when the temperatures aren't going to be quite so high. Make sure you're hydrating. Here's the best way to do that.
What do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that people make with like Gemini or with AI in general that maybe it's like, well, don't do it this way and you'll get a better result?
I think it always helps to give Gemini more information. So, the more information that you can give Gemini in a prompt, instead of saying, what should I do today? You can always say, I really am interested in these types of activities. It's really hot outside, so I'm trying to stay inside. Like, what are a few great examples of activities I can do? Just giving that little extra information will help make sure it tailors the response back to you.
I got to say, Nick, when I'm talking to it, I actually talk to it like I'm talking to you. I do. And sometimes if I think
I do too, actually.
No, I do. And sometimes if I think, I'm like, that was not a good response. That was stupid. Like, redo that. And it's fascinating how well this actually does help out your life and maybe help you find those cool things to do that are cooler or just help you cool off.
Absolutely. It's such a helpful tool. And I think, we're just getting started. And I really encourage everyone to just experiment with it. Play around, have a little conversation. It can tell you jokes. It can help you plan a vacation. Anything that, it's pretty incredible what the technology can do and just how helpful it can be in your everyday life.
It's not a joker, these temperatures. I don't know if you've seen our temperatures, Nick. They're not good. They're not good.
Yeah, I was just listening to the newscast. I mean, God, triple digits this early in the morning that's pretty incredible. But if there's anyone who knows how to deal with it well, it's folks in Phoenix. So,
all right, that is true. That is true. Our blood is thin, but we are strong. All right, Nick Burns, a Google search expert. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good insight. That's some fascinating stats that you have right there.
Good morning once again. I'm going to start off with the forecast highs today. The big numbers, because, well, it's no surprise it's been hot, but this is way above and beyond hot. In fact, this is going to be record-setting heat at some of the hottest times of the year. So it's not just typical desert heat. This is record heat in the early part of August, 115 in Phoenix and Tempe. That's why we have the weather impact alert in effect for the valley once again. This hot high pressure is just kind of sitting right on top of us and it's squishing down the atmosphere and really heating things up and preventing any storms from building up. Once this starts to retreat to the north later in the week, Tuesday and Wednesday, then we'll kind of open up the door for another surge of the monsoon and we'll get some showers and thunderstorms in here. This weekend through Tuesday, we have a weather impact alert for that extreme heat. It could be dangerous for some people, so try to take it seriously. Hang out indoors during the hottest time of the day, typically 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you want to try to hit the pool, I know the pool water is probably really even too warm to get any cooling relief there. It's 114 at 3 p.m. And beware that sunshine. It is really strong. In fact, our UV index is the highest of the year at this time of the year, 11 in the extreme category. You can get sunburn in just 5 minutes or less, so make sure you use that sunscreen. There's a chance of storms coming up next week, starting in about Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for most of the state, including the valley. That's going to be the next big thing. Our rain chance on Wednesday, 30% chance, 20% chance of showers on Thursday, and that's kind of it as things dry out as we get into the weekend. That chance of showers also comes with a little drop in temperatures, but also an increase in humidity. Our monsoon meter for this Sunday, a 0 for the valley and western Arizona, a 1 across the north, and 2s for eastern and southeastern Arizona. Look for these numbers to really start to increase as the week goes on. But on this Sunday, Futurecast kind of shows the story here. This is through 10 p.m. tonight. just a little flare up of a couple of showers here and there, and that's really about it, as it's all kind of circulating around this area of high pressure that's right on top of us. It's going to get out of the way and going to allow some of these showers to finally get into the valley, or at least closer, for the next 5 days. We have some green. It's kind of approaching. The bullseye is over Cochise County, far southern Arizona. Nogales will get quite a bit of rain over the next 5 days. And also the White Mountains in the Rim Country. You'll see some rain up there as well. Look at the hot highs today. 115. That'll break the record in Phoenix. 117 Gila Bend. 119 Lake Havasu City. Bullhead City on Saturday, by the way, did hit 120. Chinle, 100 degrees. There will be some relief in that heat. 108 on Wednesday, 109 on Thursday, but back to 110 plus. We just can't shake that heat Friday and Saturday. Here's your Flagstaff 7-day forecast. Storms really start to kick in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. With temperatures backing off a little bit into the mid-80s. The Valley 7-day forecast, 3 more days of our weather impact alert because of the high heat, and a 30% chance of some pop-up storms creeping in here on Wednesday. We'll be watching that for you very closely.
You probably noticed the words anti-inflammatory. It's everywhere. It's become one of the biggest nutrition buzzwords on social media, but it's maybe one of the misunderstood. It's like, what is it? Is anti-inflammatory healthier? What's the science behind it? This is the expert right here. We have Mackenzie Dryden, a registered dietitian with Honor Health, Integrative Medicine, and the Whole Health Institute, to walk us through what this whole anti-inflammatory thing is. So first of all, how do you know if you're inflamed? Walk us through what this even means.
Yeah, so inflammation isn't bad. I think it's become this, horrible word, but your body, it's a natural reaction for your body. If you're sick, we need inflammation. If we get injured, that is how our body is protecting itself. The problem is when that inflammation is happening for a long period of time. So we see this in people with chronically high blood sugar. We see this when you have high blood pressure. We see this if you're really not sleeping well, if you're overly stressed, if we're not eating enough, or maybe we're eating too much of the wrong, things, like a lot of highly processed foods, a lot of saturated fats, things like that. So if you have these things going on, there's a chance that you have a higher level of inflammation.
So then, how do I know, I guess?
Yeah, so you won't feel great.
Okay.
You could be experiencing, some people will experience more brain fog, headaches, different issues like stomach issues. You might feel really bloated, just overall fatigue, things like that. Everyone will present a little bit differently, but those are some good signs.
I think I'm inflamed, Mackenzie. You're just like, as you're going through, I was like, I think that might be me. So you have some of the foods here that can help knock this down.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about? Like some of the things right here. It looks like tuna is one of them.
Yeah, so we have a few different categories. We have our healthy fats. So these are going to be sources of omega-3s. We can use things like avocado oil, olive oil. We also have our fish, so salmon, tuna. And with these things, however you can incorporate them, fresh, canned, frozen, whatever works.
Okay.
We also have our fruits and vegetables. So especially these things with these bright colors, these things contain more phytochemicals or antioxidants, which are going to fight free radicals in our body, which contributes to the inflammation. So these are going to fight those. Mini peppers have a ton of vitamin C in them. We have all kinds of different antioxidants. We also have our whole grains. So these contain really good amounts of fiber and other vitamins and minerals to fight inflammation. We have our oats here, and then we also have quinoa, which is another great whole grain. We also have nuts and seeds, again, fiber, healthy fats, flax seeds, walnuts, and then finally we have some beans and legumes. Again, another great source of fiber and protein and healthy fats, lentils and chickpeas there. So the idea here is we want balance. We're not going to fight the inflammation with just one of these foods. We really want to try and get the balance, and so you don't need to overdo it with any one of these. It's just trying to get as many of these different components on your plate each and every day.
So I don't have to eat this whole thing of blueberries.
You do not.
I got to eat all these peppers.
Right, you do not have to. So the recommendation is about 5 servings of fruits and vegetables at least. And so one serving could look like 3 or 4 mini peppers, or you could have half a cup to a cup of berries, something like that. And so it's just trying to incorporate them in little places. Top your oatmeal with some berries, or maybe try to get some, you can mix your lentils in with some ground turkey or ground beef to increase the fiber content without really knowing they're even there.
How long does it take? So, if I am inflamed and so I start eating this stuff, is this like a day, 2 days? Like, how long does it take before I start to like notice that maybe I start to feel better?
I think that you'll see some immediate benefits if it's something very different from what you're doing. Like, all of this, we're adding some more fiber. That's going to give us some lasting energy. It's going to help to control our blood sugars as well. So you might notice that instant feeling of, oh, I am not as hungry all day. I'm feeling a little bit better. But over time, the more you're consistent with it, you'll continue to see benefits for the weeks and the months and the years to come. So you'll notice some immediate benefits. For things to really show up on your labs, any differences, I would give it a few weeks, a couple months or so, but you'll probably notice yourself feeling a lot better.
Is there a test that I can go take to see if there is inflammation in my body?
So
is there like a blood test or something?
Yeah, and I recommend that everyone get their regular blood work done, their annual blood work, a full panel, but you can specifically check your CRP levels, which is C-reactive protein, which can be a good indicator if you have high levels of inflammation in your body.
Mackenzie, thank you so much for spelling it out. I mean, because it is. I mean, you see all this stuff, especially like on TikTok and Instagram, and you're just like, well, what is this?
Yes.
And so now, clarified.
Yes, and again, I want to emphasize the balance. Just try all these things, enjoy it all. Not one thing is going to be the cure.
Well, the good thing is like you have options and they're not gross.
Right, no, no.
They're not gross.
I love to tell people that. Yes, I want you to enjoy eating and I want you to enjoy these foods. So pick things that you like. You don't have to eat blueberries. Do you like raspberries more? Do you like apples more? Pick the things that you like. If some of these things look great to you, great. If you prefer pecans over walnuts, those are just as good. These are just some examples.
You'll get the same effect.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Mackenzie Dryden with Honor Health. Thank you so much for being here.
All right, last week, Northern Arizona welcomed a Philadelphia man to our state, to our interstates, actually. He is a Christian influencer and streamer. Millions of people watch this guy. You've got to see what he just accomplished. 12 News journalist Haley Brown, she's got the story.
On an Arizona highway.
It's dangerous on the road. I'm aware of that.
You might have seen Isaiah Thomas in a neon shirt, just walking.
Got some supporters coming up too right now. Yo, you got my favorite Gatorade.
You can't see them, but there are thousands more supporters walking right beside him.
Sometimes 1,000 people watching at a time.
To his chat, he's Humble Zay, live streaming on TikTok and Twitch, where his viewers just watch him walk.
This is how I'm streaming. I got the Starlink on there.
A walk of faith from Philadelphia to California for many walks of life.
All walks of life right now is being inspired.
Inspired, just like Humble DJ. Once a viewer, now
I was able to, come out here. I'm 36. I've never really been big on Twitch or anything like that. I was watching along and I'm like, man, this is pretty dope. Like, he's really doing something inspiring.
Back home, Zay says growing up, kids like him didn't have a clear path to success.
I realized that, starting off at a trade school is something that could change their life.
So to raise money to build one, he hit the road.
That was the reason why I was able to, take this walk of faith.
Through tornadoes, mountains,
856 feet,
traffic stops.
I just need to figure out what the heck is going on.
Got 3 cops on me.
And dust storms.
We made it through it all, but after he got hit, it was a dire need.
On day 34, hit by a car, live on stream. Fortunately, Zay walked away with just a few bruises, and after a few days in the hospital, he just kept going.
Even when I got hit by the car, now I'm here.
This time, with help. That's when Zay brought DJ out to drive an RV for support.
My life has been forever changed. I don't foresee me going back home and things being the same.
I think this journey is showing all of us that never give up on yourself.
Because then there were the good moments.
God did! Arizona people, the whole Arizona just been a blessing. Going through the Navajo Nation, it was beautiful. Even now as I'm going into Flagstaff, I've barely been able to walk today because so many people been stopping me. The love been amazing.
Love.
Nice to meet you.
Found in so many other moments on his trip. Fans.
My favorite. Colorado Springs.
Fellowship.
Here go your man right here, Chet.
Rescuing a new friend and countless prayers.
I saw your walk. I needed a man of God to pray for me.
Let's keep any harm away from him, Father God. These are good troopers, God.
that you keep his heart pure, God.
And even crossing paths with others.
Dude, you're the man. You're my hero.
Love, bro, love.
Others, like him, who were inspired to walk their own roads.
I'm walking from Florida all the way to Oregon.
To Boston. Juggling the entire way. An outline of the United States.
We just walked across America.
And Zay did it.
3,000 miles on foot. Anything is possible.
The stream ended. His walk ended.
Humble University on the way.
But a new walk is just beginning.
He has brought together so many people. I don't even think he realizes it in his full capacity.
And just showing people that God's still real.
Zay will get to LA on August 1st, and he has a big celebration planned. More than 1,300 people have already RSVP'd. He hopes to hit his GoFundMe goal by then, and that money will help him to build his trade school, which he is calling Humble University, which will offer paths to trades like plumbing, nursing, and commercial driving for teens in Philadelphia. Reporting in studio, I'm Haley Brown, 12 News.
We are sliding back into the school year. What you're seeing right here looks like so much fun. The inner 12-year-old in me is like super excited to discuss this. If you're looking for a way to get the kids moving and beat the heat this weekend, Slick City Action Park is filled with giant indoor slides, bouncy air courts, and high-speed racing. Lexi Schrader joins us live in studio from Slick City. Lexi, thank you for being here and discussing this. When people walk into a Slick City location, what are they going to see right when they walk in?
Yeah, so they're going to see giant slides, and these aren't your normal slides that you go down on your bottom. We have slide mats, so you go head first on your stomach. You're soaring in the air, you're going fast. It's different. And then we got our bouncy air courts, junior jungle, and arcade games, so a little bit of everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think back to when I was just at 12 years old is when I would get so excited to do something like this. Trampoline courts is what I always used to love, dodgeball, things like that. Interactive games that people can maybe play inside is part of this as well.
Yeah, and really, this is for everyone. Like, you do have to be 4 to do the slides, but there's no age limit after that. You got kids, teens, grandparents. Everyone can do it. It's a blast.
And this is the perfect thing for a weekend like we're about to experience.
Correct.
115 degrees. If this was outdoor, we would say don't do any of this. But because it's indoor, it's perfect, would you say?
Fully air conditioning. Yeah,
Okay.
you can stay active and cool at the same time. It's a great place to have fun. We have our birthday parties. We do a bunch of events. We have everything there.
What about for adults? They're going to want to take their kids.
Yeah, so actually a couple of our parks once a month have adult night, which is just 18 and older. So great place to go for a date night. Honestly, you can go during the day too. During the week's a great time to come.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at these pictures that we're showing here.
Yep.
It looks like so much fun. I mean, kids with smiles on their faces. Look at that one, face first.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of dangerous if you're going a little too fast.
My favorite slide is called the Mega Launch. You actually go down and it launches you onto an airbag, like adrenaline rush every single time.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
And just next to that slide was almost people where kids can climb too. What is that we were seeing?
In the junior jungle, that is the web crawler. So that's for 5 and under because you do have to be 4 for the slide. So we have that separate area for the little kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you think is important that people should know that they can do here?
Yeah, I mean, birthday parties are a great experience here. We make it super easy for the parents from start to finish. We're handling it so it's stress-free for them, and they can actually enjoy the moment with their kids. We also have group events. Whether it's for school events, corporate events, or just a fun time with team building.
And real quick, last question. You said 7 locations across Arizona.
Yes.
Name some cities they're in if you don't mind.
First one was Peoria in 2024. We just had our most recent one, Tucson, Memorial Weekend, Chandler, Mesa, Queen Creek.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lexi Schrader, we appreciate you being here. It looks like so much fun.
Thank you for having me.
Time once again for a final check of your weather. On Weather Impact Alert days, we have high heat today, in fact, record heat. The Weather Impact Alert goes all the way through Tuesday, and a chance of valley storms coming in next week. That's going to end our streak of really hot days, but also bring in some more humidity. Here's the timeline for today, up to 115 degrees later on this afternoon in Phoenix, 115 in Tempe and Chandler, 115 in Glendale. Sun City, you're at 116, bucking the trend. Valley 7-day forecast, showers, a few thunderstorms possible, really starting in on Wednesday and Thursday with slightly cooler high temperatures, 108 on Wednesday.
Thank you for joining us this Sunday morning. And remember to start your week and every morning with Today in AZ. We get going at 4:26 and streaming until 9.
This person looked like everything that hides in our psyche of who stranger danger looks like, what the boogeyman looks like.
It was the first time we were hearing from her kids about possibly what had happened to their mother.
We want to make sure we get this story right. especially in those early days.
And all I can think about is that the last thing that Nancy ever saw was this masked stranger coming into her home?
The Search for Nancy Guthrie on the 12 News streaming app.